Yo, 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 you tuning into the Notion Podcast. This is your host, Dizzy D Spill, with my co-host in the building,
Jelani Evans.
You already know what it is, man. How you been, bro?
Oh, I'm maintaining, every day above ground's a blessed one, right?
Hey, bro, you just reminded me of that video of the bro with the dreads that be like showing you nostalgic shit or shit back in the day, and it was one of those things that only black people do when they get fitted. They always got to dust their shit off.
Oh, no. I wasn't even that. Sometimes you sit down, it's just rub days. How you feeling, though, man?
Man, I'm good, bro. I hate fantasy football right now, but other than that, I mean, my team is doing good as far as in the NFL, but my fantasy team is god awful right now. And I at least wanted to make the playoffs, and I'm not going to make the playoffs. So I'm thinking
it's even worse when you in charge of the fantasy league.
In charge of my loss? Yeah, I'm just sitting there watching. I got to pay the bread out. Yeah, that's crazy, bro. It's wild. It's a different level of BS, man.
I'd just be hard to get a hold of.
I've been busy
dealing with these L's.
Sorting through them, man. Sorting through them.
Your team won today, though.
Yeah, bro. I was talking a lot of noise to my brother. I was like, bro, we suck. This, that, and the other. He was like, man, I'm trying to tell you, just give it time. As soon as we won, bro, I got a text message like that. I told you. And I was just like, well, maybe it's good that I don't watch the games, because I think I have one of those curses. It's a few fans that have this curse where it's almost like every time you watch the game, your team lose.
Everybody that's a fan of a team feels like that.
Yeah, is that what it is?
Yeah, bro. I'll be watching hoop and I'll be like, see, I'm watching the game and they lose. That's why I just check scores and highlights.
Right. It's like, but I'll come back to that later, man. I feel like I'm the problem, so I'm gonna just remove myself so they can get their job.
I ain't on the coaching staff. I am not in any position that ultimately affect the team, but I feel bad.
Hey, sidebar, bro, real quick. Did you see like the little riffraff between LeBron and Ime Udoka during the game?
I did not.
Yeah, apparently they had some words. Ime said something to him. LeBron said something to him, and then Ime got I think he got thrown out the game, I believe. I just seen a highlight real quick because I think he got a double tech.
I'm like, who is that?
Come on, man! The legendary cheater who happened to be a coach.
Oh, yeah. It sound familiar. I was just like,
yeah, the Rockets said we'll give you a second chance. So he's over there head coach for the Rockets right now. And I totally forgot about him until that highlight came up and people started talking about it.
And him and LeBron got into it, huh?
Well, it was kind of a funny exchange. Now, allegedly, I guess Ime Udoka said to him on the sideline, like LeBron was walking by, and he said, like, "You soft boy," or you're a soft boy, and LeBron told him, "I wouldn't use that term so loosely, bruh." Like,
he hit that guy with a pause.
And it looked like that pissed him off even more, and that earned him the second tech. That's what the alleged exchange was. I got to go back and look at the article. I think somebody was close by recording it. No, so I'm gonna go back and
everything gets recorded these days. Pictures.
Somebody just sent me a meme that said one of the coolest things about being in your 30s is you did all your BS before there was a phone, so there's no proof. Or before you could record on your phone, so there's no proof. And I was like, yo, there's actually a lot of truth to that.
I mean, I've always been an upstanding citizen.
I've always been an understanding citizen. So
I said upstanding.
Yeah, man.
They say post a pic or it didn't happen. A lot of stuff did not happen.
I guess it didn't happen. I'll roll with some of those things.
Well, Rick Ross say accusations. Oh, man.
Accusations, man. Josh Giddy, man.
Oh, speaking of accusations, go on.
What are your thoughts on the story just within itself? Does that, I mean,
to be honest, I don't really think he's such a great basketball player. I think they be hyping him up. He's all right.
Yeah.
Like, he's kind of mediocre. I feel like he's falling short of the expectations.
Do you think he's getting more exposure because of how he's been exposing himself?
Oh, you're talking about. I thought you were talking about him as a basketball player. I was like, he's mid. You mean the situation with the underage girl? No, I don't really feel like he's getting any more exposure. It seemed like it's kind of flown under the radar.
Yeah, I agree.
You know what I'm saying? Agree. Like, I mean, you heard a couple of things about it. You know what I'm saying? There was a few jokes like that were kind of made, and then what else is going on? Was it had that type of energy? That's like, damn, that's crazy. Yo, did you see? It was, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was just kind of like overlooked or.
And that kind of might be reflecting back to what you said as far as him just being a mediocre player. Maybe he's not a high profile enough player to feel like for outlets to feel like following him. But at the end of the day, I kind of wonder if his hue is different, if it would just be flown under the radar. And I say that because sometimes it'd be people that we didn't even know exist, and something like this would happen, and then it's just constantly talked about.
I don't know. I'm torn because I feel like it's not so much his hue as it is his lack of impact.
Okay, I'll take that.
You get what I'm saying?
It's just like, I understand that.
It's like the higher up you are, the more of an impact you make, the more notoriety and influence that you have. When something happens, then it's blown up and there's a brighter light shined on it.
Yeah, for sure.
And not just because of who you are and your notoriety, but then it also makes for better headlines.
Right.
Like a lot of people, like, think about it. You be like, Josh Giddy, da-da-da-da. You like, it's just like I was with email. You be like, who the hell is that? Who? Josh Giddy. Oh, the receiver for the like, nah, he played basketball, bro. Like, oh, let me ask Google because he been in the league 4 years,
right? You start watching all kinds of highlights and okay, he was cool in college. All right,
yeah, you know what I'm saying. Yeah. Like, so when he retired, like, he's still in the league, bro. Like, you see what I'm saying? Like,
nah, that makes sense.
And so I feel like that might have something more to do with it. Although in the same breath, you feel me? I do believe that if he was of a darker complexion, they might put a little bit more emphasis, or, you know what I'm saying, like, highlight it a little bit more.
I do think that this is I think when it comes to these kind of conversations, because the country sometimes is so divided with race and things of that nature, that it's scenarios like this where I think our larger platforms, not that it's going to change anything, but our larger platforms have a reminder of how they can easily change the narrative of what people paint about us instead of adding to it. Because when you look at platforms that are controlled by people that are not of our hue, they're not highlighting this kind of content unless it's us, right? And then when it's us, our own platforms will amplify it even more. You know what I'm saying? So it's like when you look at like World Star, Shade Room, Baller Alert, all the gossip sites that have hundreds and thousands of millions of followers, they have the choice and the opportunity to promote and perpetuate things that could see us in a larger light. And a lot of times they will focus on and highlight a lot more negativity or controversy because they believe, not that it's necessarily true, but they believe that that's what's going to drive the traffic.
Yeah, well, with the specific outlets that you just named, it's really more about the drama and driving traffic and, you know what I'm saying, creating false narratives that will have people talking more.
Absolutely.
You know, so it just, I don't know. I don't really find those outlets to be too valid. They do give out a lot of information. Not all of it is false.
You got to pick and choose what you really want to.
Yeah, because you know what I'm saying, they're more or less geared towards gossip and he
women
say, she say, and hey, if you say so, it wasn't me. So
I said it. Guy with the exclusive brown hoodie with the cream lettering. I said it.
Yeah, but you know, it's definitely head scratching to be like, why isn't this getting more attention?
Mm-hmm.
Now I do understand that it was a couple years ago that this all took place. I don't feel like that lessens what he did.
True.
I don't feel like, oh, well, it was a couple years ago, so it's no big thing. Like, no, it still happened.
Right.
There's still a situation. There are still questions that need to be answered, and he should be held accountable for whatever role that he played in that and whatever happened.
Absolutely.
So, just because it can't popped up late don't mean you're not responsible.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
It definitely should be taken more seriously. I don't know if... It just doesn't seem like a major headline. So I think that's why the people are just like, they talked about it, they put it out there. It's almost like they posted it, it didn't get enough likes, so they just act like they, moving on.
Yeah. And you know what? To be real, to kind of give credit on both sides, I think that's how a lot of topics should be until the facts come out and there's a verdict on how things are going to move forward, right?
Yeah, but if you big time, soon as anything happens, whether it's true, false or not, bruh, it's a headline.
It's a headline, and people are going to beat on a dead horse, and people are going to go crazy about it. And it's like, for example, the late great, Kobe, he went through a lot when he had accusations. You understand what I'm saying? And then for those accusations to be false, and for him and his family to move forward, for him to move forward, build back up, himself mentally and everything like that, it still had to get brought up. And I think that's the unfortunate thing about when something is alleged or when something is brought up. It's not like, hey, this happened, we don't know any more details, we're going to move on. Any little detail or any little update that happens from that point on, it just gets refreshed all over again. And then you have certain people that want to pick and choose how hard they want to go because of your influence and your impact. Like a person that I'm not a fan of is Malika Andrews. You know what I'm saying? I haven't seen her cover anything about Josh Giddy.
She's not, because she's not in charge of what she covers.
See?
Somebody signs her paycheck.
Exactly.
So she has to run with whatever narratives and stories that they tell her to.
She chooses to run with every narrative and story that they tell her to.
Okay, all right. But she reads from a teleprompter a lot.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying? Ain't no
That's
freestyling.
talented too.
Ain't no freestyling. It's all written down. It's all scripted. You know what I mean?
The ghostwriter, yep. And yeah, it's crazy, man.
Well, you know how it is. You feel me? Somebody else sign your checks. You pretty much gotta do what they say. There's not too much pushback or arguing going on,
or integrity, or what's the other word? Dignity, and moral and stuff like that. I understand. Got to do that for the check. There's other people that do that. They work late night shifts and they also lack those things when they get a check too. But
Well, who are you talking about?
Huh? Oh, well, we were talking about like when somebody gets a check signed.
Who does that late night?
Oh, they work in something called a club.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying?
They get singles.
Yeah, they don't even get checks. They get cash. You know what I'm saying? So, but there are a lot of similarities there. Do what I say. If you want this dub or this 5 or this 1, depending on who your employer is for those 10, 15 minutes to an hour. But you know what I mean? Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So you are right. It's just you were right in so many ways in other lines of work or philanthropy, if some people want to refer to it that way.
Putting women through college, sir.
You have families.
Putting women through college, sir. I don't understand.
Everybody wins, right? It's a scholarship money, player.
She's trying to be an RN.
Right now. Our brother Mike Tyson. I thought this scenario was crazy. I remember seeing the video when it first came out where a few years ago, he had gotten to an altercation on his flight, somebody kept trolling him, and they finally got the old Mike Tyson.
I heard that the individual like even threw a water bottle at him.
Yeah.
All right, so bro, you got what you deserved. I'm sorry, I don't even know what like. It's all right. There's some people you can like antagonize. There's some people you can bother. There's some people you can even like possibly threaten or assault with. Because once you throw a water bottle, it's more like battery. But anyway, we won't get into the technicals. But if you throw anything at a retired world champion of boxing, right? Like, let's think about that for a second.
The baddest man on the planet he was.
And it's especially when it's that individual. So you just gonna throw something at a retired boxer and you don't think you gonna get them hands? Bro, their default is to fight.
And you're in arm's reach? Like, the thing that I think is, I was gonna say grandiose. The thing that I thought was pretty ballsy about it was you're gonna try to sue somebody or press charges on somebody after you initially assaulted them and antagonized them. I had to really sit back and be like, yo, what planet are we on?
Earth.
Is it Earth?
That's what that's entitlement, bro. Privilege. I mean, what did you think?
But okay, let's go that route. You said privilege is entitled, right? That's usually because you're in a certain environment where you think something is owed to you, right? You think you are entitled to something. So you are entitled to just going and messing, not with just some random person. The last person you should be dealing with. The last person you should be dealing with probably for the day.
But they're a celebrity, so.
Okay.
Right? That's how people, they're a celebrity, so.
I think when I said okay, I just understood this.
How dare you just want to just live your life and not be bothered because you're out in public? No, talk to me, sign this, do this, listen to me. Well, you're gonna ignore me. Water bottle. How dare you ignore me, an average citizen that nobody knows?
You're right. That's the biggest problem with celebrity figures interacting with everyday people is that they're labeled celebrities before people.
He interacted all right.
Oh yeah, for sure. And he better be glad it wasn't a prime version of him getting that work too. But
well, it didn't even have to be a prime version. He didn't have any footing. If he'd had footing, it'd have been a different game. Because he leaned. Apparently he turned.
That'd have been some good sleep the whole flight.
Leaned over the seat. It's like, stop it. It's just like. And so if he had been able to get behind it, yo.
Yeah, I just ain't have enough room. Otherwise, you would have got knocked out. But,
oh my gosh!
Yeah, I thought that was insane, and I hope the situation backfires. I hope every time when people go out there and they do things to public figures, popular people, anybody, and they're just minding their own business because they look at them as a celebrity or a form of entertainment first before an actual individual, and there's repercussions behind that. I'm totally supportive of that because that's a natural human reaction. If any one of us was in an environment where somebody just started trolling us and doing too much, our natural reaction is defense. Straight up. I don't know why people think that just because someone's a celebrity that they're just going to submit to that. I'll never understand.
I don't understand why you thought a boxer would submit to that. That's the craziest part about it. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, bro, if you knew somebody was like a black belt, right? You wouldn't walk up and just like chump. Like, you know, yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like
I remember
you gonna smack a lion?
No, I'm not even over there.
Man, I'm definitely not getting close.
One of the best places I like to watch when it comes to like lions and snakes and things that are like deadly. I love watching them from my living room on TV.
Yeah, I'm not even,
because I'm not petting anything. I'm not getting next to it. I don't want a photo with the lion. I don't want and we see that stuff all day on social media. Somebody getting their finger snatched because they wanted to put their hand in the cage, and I'm good. We were taught very young what they're capable of.
Yeah, I'm not. I don't understand.
And the same thing applies to somebody that's a world champion. Hey, can I get a photo? No? All right, man. You take care of yourself. I don't want to fight you. You understand what I'm saying? So,
nah, you don't want to take no photo, you chump. You probably ain't got no more anyway.
Yeah, he must have not watched the video. There was a video with Jamie Foxx and Ricky Smiley. And he was telling a story about when I guess Tyson didn't like Cisco. So they were at like a party, a get together, and he was, get away from me, thong, I don't like thong, get away from me, thong. And he was doing the impression. And I guess Stevie Wonder was somewhere on the keys, and he heard Tyson's commotion and got up and tried to walk off.
Ain't no trying. I'm sure he got out of there.
He just didn't know where he was going. But that's my point. If you can't, if
he
somebody
got further, if he's here, I heard that. I'm going this way.
I'm gonna just use my ears, and the further away if I am from the noise, the better.
Yeah. You know, they say fight or flee. Like he was in full flee mode.
Yeah.
It's just.
My man lifted the shades and everything. Oh, over there? All right, I'm out. Straight up.
Yeah, that's the intro version. Exit stage right.
Album out on Tuesday. You get the rest there, man. For sure.
Yeah, it's just certain individuals you don't.
But I do think we live in a time and a climate where people are emboldened to do things, and I don't know if that's because of social media and people having their phone out.
You want to know what though? Like, Brett also has a record. The individual who he has a record. Like it's not like just one
like a
charge.
criminal. Okay,
yes, he has a few charges. He's been into some things. He has gotten caught up.
Similar to where he was getting into the issue with Tyson. Because what I was going to think of is like, has he, some people have a history of like doing stuff like this to famous people or, celebrities. So I don't know if he had that kind of reputation. But yeah, that I would think that would help in the case, like because he has a record.
I don't feel like there is a case. I feel like he's trying to sue him because he is a celebrity and he's trying to get money.
Man, he's not getting that from Mike.
You get what I'm saying?
Mike is not. He's not doing it. And I'm talking like I know him, but I know him well enough to know he ain't finna do that.
Yeah, because when he's talking on the phone, he's like, no. It's absurd. It's like, oh, okay. Yeah, apparently, bro got a record, which is crazy to me. It's like, and I think that's why they tried to settle. He tried to settle, asking for like $450,000.
You're not getting that, bro. I would be shocked if he got anything at all. I'd be shocked if he even got a lawyer that's willing to go forward with everything.
Man, it was his lawyer who sent the settlement paperwork.
And he probably told him, "Look, man, pay me $3,000. I'm gonna send this paperwork, and if nothing happened, I can't do nothing for you."
Bro, he previous convictions for fraud, grand theft, and burglary, among other charges.
Oh, so he's Michael from GTA 5 is what you're saying.
He was into some stuff. So it's just, I don't know. It's even more laughable when you think about it. Like, bro, you're faulty already. You be on some BS.
Either that or we're in the wrong profession. We need to go start some stuff and then start some cases after that.
Nah.
If he's, I highly doubt he's successful, but if he is, it's a problem.
He's not even a successful criminal. Oh. Those are convictions, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Hey.
He hasn't been successful at anything except getting punched.
Hey, you're absolutely right. Because if he was successful, it would have probably stated career criminal. When you're a career criminal, you've actually made some moves. But when somebody says you have a record, that means you suck at crime.
Yeah. You keep getting caught, bro. Stop. And then you ran up on Mike and got caught again. Sheesh.
Pick another professor. I don't know why you're doing this. Straight up,
we love you, Mike.
Yeah, no, we really do. I don't want no smoke, dog. I do impressions of something. I like to make my friends laugh.
He instantly went into apology and explanation mode.
Hey, bro, I just don't want a Bootsy interview, bro. I saw like when he interviewed Bootsy, like Bootsy was shook. I don't know if you've seen that podcast, but yeah. I don't want to. We might blow up one day, and then somebody want to roll the clip back, like, "Hey, remember this?" And I'm just like, "Bro, it was a long day. We just needed a laugh. I didn't mean it."
I'm just gonna throw you under the bus. Yeah, Spill was tripping that day, man.
Yeah, I don't go by that name no more.
I almost called out your government.
Yeah, I'm reformed. Yeah, you know.
Right.
Straight up, yo.
All right.
So, I already mentioned this to you before, and we've had this conversation in other ways, but the scenario with T.I. versus the internet is what I like to call it, because of course, you know, there's been this drama with him and his son, which looks like it's been resolved to a certain degree.
I mean, all right, so before you even get deeper into it, let's think about it. How often do family issues get resolved? Like,
often.
Right. So
Often.
the thing about it, it was just amplified because it was caught on the internet. It was caught streaming or live.
Yeah,
or whatever
somebody,
the case
you
may
know,
be.
how they found
So
out.
because of that, and again, somebody like T.I. who has a high level of notoriety, celebrity, everybody's familiar with him. It makes for a great headline. So it was amplified that it was this real big ordeal, when at the end of the day, it was nothing more than a family disagreement, misunderstanding, and somebody got rubbed the wrong way. But at the end of the day, that happens with family, and it usually gets resolved.
True.
You know what I'm saying?
Especially like with father and son or mother and daughter.
Well,
Like,
especially in those cases, because as a son, you know, gets older, what they like to say, his nuts drop, right?
Absolutely.
And so then you start feeling like you can, you start carrying yourself differently. You feel like you can talk to your parents a certain way, and you might even challenge your father. It's almost like that's kind of a part of coming into manhood. And it's to some extent,
every father got to deal with their son. Every mother got to deal with their daughter.
100%.
Yeah.
Because like, man, my mom, my sister used to be like, you know what I'm saying? Because it's like I'm trying to be independent, and yeah, you're still my parent, but I'm an adult now, which technically you kind of are, but you ain't that kind of adult to be stepping up to your parent. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's almost like that you have to get checked.
Yeah.
You have to get checked. It happens all the time. You
sure.
you get to a certain age, you feel like you can bark back or stand toe to toe with your parents, and they check you. And when they check you, of course you don't appreciate it. Of course you don't like it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, like, well, yeah, you know, they checked me, but like, nah, initially it's going to rub you the wrong way. It's going to, you ruffled their feathers, and them checking you is going to ruffle your feathers, right? But at the end of the day, you're still family. It's still love. So it's not going to be this ongoing situation. It usually gets resolved.
Yeah, it does. And I think that sometimes, because I've seen this, we've all seen this quote go around, like, you know, the internet is undefeated and all this other stuff. And I just seen, and maybe I need to do more looking into these type of things. I just seen more flaw on everybody sharing and commenting on the topic than normal. Because for starters, when they started playing, you know, when somebody gets accused of something or when something blows up, they always dig back to the past. And I'll never forget, because I actually watched this episode, and I don't even watch reality TV like that, where T.I. had his reality show, and there was an episode where T.I. and his son King had a disagreement, but he was a kid, and it was about going to school, and he wanted to pursue music and all this other stuff, and he was like, nah, we're not doing that. And he was getting mad, he was getting emotional. I'm trying to follow my dreams and this, that, and the other. And, you know, T.I. was yelling at the mom and everybody, like, stop coddling him, let him figure it out, let him get his own emotions going. And it was to me, it was a pretty normal and pretty positive father-son moment, because it was displaying a disagreement, teaching him how to deal with the disagreement, teaching him how to show, like, prove himself if that's something that he wants to do, right? And it was interesting that they went back to that because of the disagreement they're having now, but that's every day. Both scenarios is every day, where, you know, as you get older, you're going to bump heads with your parents, probably because you have disagreements with decisions they made raising you, and then trying to still tell you / guide you when you're older. But because it's on a platform, it's amplified. But what was interesting is most of the people were in agreement with how T.I. handled it. And like I was telling you off mic, I thought that was very rich, because I remember when everybody felt the opposite about the dynamic he has with his daughter. He was every name in the book. Now, was he wrong about the way he approached the situation with his daughter? Yes. In my opinion, I thought he was wrong, but that's his family. He might still look at it the way he looks at it, right? But he was every name in the book. And then when it came to his son, and it was, even though the situations are different, it's still parenting, right?
It's still parenting, but you also have to understand that male and female, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't want to say it's a double standard, but you deal with your daughter differently than you deal with your son.
Absolutely.
And so, what I'm saying, it'll be viewed differently when it's him dealing with his son versus him dealing with his daughter.
Mm-hmm.
Regardless of whether they understand the dynamic, the parenting, the family, or any of that, outside looking in, they're going to feel about it how they feel about it.
Right.
And so because of that, it was just like, invading the privacy, or he shouldn't have did this, or he shouldn't have did that, versus it being his son. And he was right to get on him and reprimand him and X, Y, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And now at the end of the day,
and that got physical too.
At the end of the day, regardless of how you feel about it, it is parenting, and it is in some form a way of discipline.
Mm-hmm.
And as a parent, you discipline your kids as you see fit.
As you see fit.
That's not nobody else's place or say so. You know what I'm saying? But everybody seems to have an opinion on discipline, and it's crazy how many people without kids have an opinion on discipline and how you should go about it. And so it's just like, that's why it's like you said, is so many people posting it and sharing it. It's like kind of putting the business out there and giving your opinion when it's not warranted, nor is it needed, nor does it even matter.
Right, for sure. And that's how I seen it. I mean, of course, everybody can have an opinion and feel away and just be like, all right, but I honestly do think that guy means well when it comes to his family. And I just think that,
100%. It's,
I just think that, like you said, when the world is invited into your space of privacy, and the disadvantage that I'll always believe is, so the world can be invited into, his privacy, right? But what if he had the same information on you and your family? Would you be so vocal? Would you stand 10 toes on what you're saying? And a lot of people don't. A lot of people don't. A lot of people know that they have the advantage of, only thing you know is a profile, but I know everything that's going on about what's going on with you. And if you even the playing field, we might find out that you'll never be half the person that the person is that you're criticizing. I see that a lot. I see it a lot. But I don't know. When I seen so many people agreeing with him, it wasn't that I had a problem with how he handled anything with his son. I think my father was still around, it would have went the same way if I had a got out of pocket like that, right? But it was just the fake support. We've talked about that on past episodes where people act a certain type of way but don't really feel that way, and it just seemed like a lot of fake support. And in my opinion, I feel like they had fake support for how T.I. handled it, even though I feel like he handled it right because of how they feel about his son, because of the controversy he's had as an individual. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So I was just like, I think that's fake.
Stop capping.
Stop capping. Yeah, man. That's just where I was at with it, dude. And I do get saddened though when I see these things happen, and I probably feel differently because I'm a parent now. And when I see, like, I don't even have to use the celebrities as a conversation, just because we're on a platform where it seems like a lot of people overshare personal and private information
all the time, bro.
And it's just like, sometimes I want to ask, but I know I'm not gonna get the answer I'm looking for, right? Like, why do you guys do that? Why do you guys? And again, I'm done with the celebrity conversation. Like, the average person that emulates this shit, why do y'all get so personal online about your business?
Looking for attention.
Is it that?
It's like, all right, so I have this thought, this theory, if you will, with celebrities, right? Celebrities don't really have anything personal about them. Everything is out there. Everything is campaigned. Everything is talked about, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so you feel like to, in a sense, establish yourself in that same type of way as far as in a celebrity or somebody, you put everything out there on the front page, being, exposing personal and private things, right? Because that's what the celebrities do. The celebrities don't do that, though. Their stuff is put out there because of who they are. Mm-hmm. You're putting your stuff out there hoping for the attention to be like them. You see what I'm saying?
True.
So you get so wrapped up in all the attention and everything that celebrities get and that pertains to them that you start doing the stuff that they have going on. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm going to be personal and I'm going to put this out here and I'm going to be open about everything. But guess what? Nobody cares because who are you?
Yeah. Why should we care about what you got going on versus whoop-de-whoop? And
then, like, think about, like, what happened with T.I. and his son. That was something personal and private that ended up on the internet that never should have ended up on the internet.
Yeah, neither one of them was recording.
And so then when you put your stuff on the internet, you're
volunteering.
Yeah,
you're volunteering.
And it doesn't hold any weight. It's not gonna drive attention. Mm-hmm. It's not gonna pull numbers. People, you see what this just posted, bro?
Yeah.
Like, that's what it's gonna make you look like a clown because you don't have the notoriety to be personal for people to even care. Like, it doesn't do anything for you.
That's the worst too, because when you do that, you have something called a like in a comment section, and you could post something and nobody interacts with it, and you think nobody cares because they don't, but everybody's seen it, and somebody may make a comment verbally about it.
And that stuff getting shared in DMs and messages, and it's getting screenshot.
0 likes, 0 comments, 700 shares.
What? And if it's me, I'm not gonna share it. I'm gonna screenshot it, and then I'm gonna share it so that way you don't even get any of those.
You're not getting nothing, bro.
No
algorithm. You out the rhythm.
You're getting talked about. Yep. That's what you're getting. That's what you're getting. You know what I'm saying? though? But it's just like to fit. I don't know. It's like what do they call it? That I can't think of the word right now. When you think real highly of yourself, though.
Grandiosity.
I mean, that is a word. Delusions of grandeur.
That sounds like a great movie with Brad Pitt. And I'm about to look that up on Netflix.
It's just like you think you're so much more important.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And you really think people are so caught up in who you are, that you feel like you need to be putting all your stuff out here on these platforms.
There's a lot of people like that.
Or maybe, just dopamine hits and you put it out there because you don't know what privacy and having
or
a personal
both.
life
They
is,
could have that double whammy.
The likes and you know I just feel like people don't understand what it means to be private and have personal things remain personal anymore because everything is put out there.
Yo, I mean, for people like us that have to unfortunately deal with our phone because of the ventures that we're in between broadcasting and businesses and stuff, right? Have you ever accidentally not dealt with your phone for a long period of time? It was just like, yo, that was actually great.
It's never an accident.
Yeah. For me, it's an accident because I know that I'm active, between this, the show, the clothing brand, and then sometimes family interacts more through messages on DMs because it's more instantaneous than a text and stuff like that. So I'll constantly be dealing with my phone. I know when to put the phone down, but I'm constantly dealing with it. But there's times where it's like, yo, I got tasks to knock out and I'm gonna just throw my phone on the charger and I forget I even have it.
I'm over that. I'm past that. Because I be tired of my phone. I am turned off by social media, and as far as family goes, I love all of y'all dearly, but I don't care to deal with y'all all the time. Most of the time,
that's most people, bro.
I'm an introvert. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't have a problem not talking to anybody I'm watching movies. I'm on my desktop. I'm I'm on my Xbox. I might be asleep. I took a nap before I came here. Like
dreaming about all the stuff you just named.
Like, so it's just like I put my phones on silent. Sometimes I forget my phones are on silent, and I'll come back to social media notifications and texts and missed calls and voicemails and inquiries on Yelp, and I'll get to that when I get to it. But I'm not gonna let anything really interrupt me enjoying myself, and me enjoying myself rarely has anything to do with my phones.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like there was a point where it's like, I got to post on social media and I got to make sure I respond to everybody and do all this. But when you start to understand that a lot of that stuff doesn't equate to income, right? Then what's the real value of it? And then as far as family goes, like you can't always expect me to be available because you want to talk to me. And I think, you see what I'm saying?
I'm not big on that.
So with that being said, like, yo, you can call. You can text, and I have watched my phone ring.
Yeah, I've done that several times.
I'll respond to your texts when I'm ready to interact. Yeah. When I'm ready. And if you're still available, that's cool. And if you're not, I'm just going to assume you're in a mood where you don't want to. And there's nothing wrong with that. Nobody is obligated or, you know what I'm saying, to just deal with you because you want to. No.
Well, everybody's on a different frequency. And so I think that, like, the average person is going to.
frequency.
Yo.
I mean, but like honestly, that's how I be feeling. Like, cause it's about me.
That's what I mean. You know what I'm saying? Like you're on your own frequency. That person is on theirs, and you're not going to change it for anybody unless it's beneficial. And that's the average person. It's just that we live in a time where people are so worried about saying what they think the general masses will accept instead of being honest with yourself. When it's kind of weird because people want you to be yourself. So
I don't know how to be nobody else. Deal with me or don't. I am not losing any sleep.
That's like a twisted threat. Deal with me or don't. Yo.
But that's what it is, though. I mean, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, hey, it is what it is, man. It's there's no love lost. You know what I mean? Like,
well, I think that like if people, I'm not even gonna say if people. I just think we're all from different times, bro. And I think individuals like us, people that are in our age group, we come from a time where a lot of things that people worry about didn't exist. So we can do without. Sometimes we might get caught up in the matrix, or we may get caught up in technology and the way things have been so innovative over the years. But we've survived without a lot, and we were still okay. I honestly think that a lot of our mentals were better.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Back then. You know what I'm saying? So,
in a lot of instances, it's worse for people because of social media. They get on here and they see everybody's highlight reel, and they feel like, damn,
that's how the whole game went.
I'm not doing anything. I'm not on flights. I'm not taking trips. I don't have kicks like that. I don't have clothing like that. I'm not having these experiences. My life sucks. And then the depression sets in, and, you know, now you're disappointed with self and all these different type of things that honestly, it's not true. It's not true. You see the highlights because that's what people want you to see. It's this facade that a lot of people give off and how they want things to look, come across, right? Everybody taking L's. Like, I'm gonna be honest, unless you like a millionaire right now, especially in this economy with the inflation right now, everybody's taking L's. And now I tell you a secret, even millionaires are taking L's. A lot of businesses are closing and downsizing and shutting down and aren't doing the same number. I told you the other day, I said, bro, I think Nike hurting right now. They got sales for everything. They had Black Friday, the fucking Blue Sunday, they did Cyber Monday, they did West Coast Wednesday. Like, they had sales all over the place. Like, bro, like they hit me on emails and text messages like a
regular caller from the States, bro, is like calling you now.
All type of checkout and promo codes and member specialties. I'm like, bro, y'all hurting, huh? Because it's rough out here. They creating
burner accounts and trying to start conversations with you and everything. Yo, Nike is off the chain right now.
Who the hell is Swoosh Girl? It's rough, bro.
It is, dog. And it takes a certain type of mind to understand that, you know what, I'm good where I'm at, and I don't need to like try to emphasize on getting the approval from everyone else, especially people that you don't even like. I understood that a long time ago. Like, why am I trying to impress people that are not interested in me and don't even like me?
Approval's overrated.
Fuck yeah. That's just credit.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, approval's overrated, bro. Especially in this day and age.
Well, yeah, because the people that you're trying to get it like approval from, or the groups that you're trying to get approval from, a lot of times lack things that you don't even realize you have. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people hide behind a group. Like, a lot of groups hide behind the group because they're afraid of who they are as an individual. You know what I'm saying? And that group, I'm not saying like every group is like that. I'm just saying when you're trying too hard to be a part of something, even, you know what else is a group? Even the people that try to act like they're not interested in anything, that's still a group. You know what I mean? Like, no, I don't care. I'm over here. And, you know, it's that you're still part of a group. You're still aligned with a group of people that are trying too hard to perpetuate an image. If you really don't care, if you're really, your mind is somewhere else, you're only speaking about it because of, for conversation's sakes. But if you're always around a group of people, if you're always in an environment trying to prove who you are, that just goes to show you that you're still attached to a certain type of group because you want to be known for that thing. Because most people that are really about that life, so to speak, they're just living it. They're just doing it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. 100%.
And so, hey, hope you guys get it together. They're banning ski masks in Philly.
Yeah, they are.
I kind of understand.
Only in certain, it's almost like only in certain places, certain buildings, on trains, buses, and things. Like, it's not like you just can't wear it anywhere, but there are specific places and establishments where you can no longer wear a ski mask, and it's due to not only a high crime rate out there, but the amount of cases that involve individuals wearing ski masks. You know what I'm saying? Like, they talking about, it's 80-something degrees out here and people walking around in ski masks. And for those who are unfamiliar, the shiesties, I'm sure you know what those are because you guys are into that type of stuff. But the shiesty mask, I'm not talking about our listeners, just the general individuals, population, whatever you want to call it. But nah, the shiesty mask, baklavas, the ski mask, you know what I'm saying? There's a lot of different names or terms for them. Try to cover everybody. Yeah, it's understandable when there's such a high crime rate, and a lot of those crimes involve ski masks. And I mean, I understand that during the pandemic, it was all about wearing masks.
That's what I thought was ironic.
The thing that's crazy to me, though, is just like, how protective is a ski mask against COVID?
It's not.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Like, I don't think a lot of the masks were really that protective. I just think it's almost like the difference between a 9mm and a 40 cal. A 9mm will slow you down a little bit. It don't have to completely take you out, but a 40 cal is, it's going to be bad on impact, damn near. So
a bullet is a bullet.
Yeah.
You get hit with a 22 and it bounces around and hit a couple things and it's over.
You'll pull it Tony Roberts.
How you gonna compare bullets like, whether it's a 40 or a 9? If it's, man, don't shoot me.
Your survival chances are better.
Don't shoot me at all. Please.
I don't even like brushing against hot incense.
Yeah. Like, just take my wallet, sir. It's golly. Sheesh. Like, because I mean, like I said, a 22.
Freeze. 40 cal or 9mm. All right.
It's a 22. It's like, oh shit, I'm gonna take my shoes off too. 22 do more damage. It get inside and start ricocheting. It's lacerated lung.
Bruh, caught me with no place.
Punctured liver. Armor boxes around. No. These are COD references.
Yeah, man, for the gamers. You know what I'm saying? You should get it on our level. Yeah, I mean,
my gamer tag is no. It's necessary though. I feel like
it is.
It's, you know what I'm saying? Like I don't see that as being something that would fly like nationwide, but like regional and even down to like city type. Yeah, there should be a ban on it. And like think about the crime rate. Like
crime rate is crazy right now, especially out here.
If they're doing it in Philly, the next place they're gonna be doing it is in Chicago. Like you know what I'm saying? Like it's because of crime rate and then not being able to identify criminals or get a clear read on people because everybody has on these ski masks, these shiesties that cover up your hair, facial hair.
You don't know who anybody is.
Facial, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like jaw, bone line, like all of the stuff that you use, it's all covered up. So yeah.
The crazy thing to me is, I mean, call me old. I don't understand the comfort in rocking that. You know what I'm saying? Like, is this as far as it being an accessory? Like, because I know, you know, things are a trend and you're trying to emulate whoever it is that you listen to, and it's just like in the environments I've worked in, the environment I work in, I still wouldn't want to just wear that for like over an hour. You know, having a mask on, and you know, I'm just.
You said, you know, a time that we come from. In the time that we come from, criminals didn't want to look like criminals.
Yeah.
And if you're wearing a ski mask and you're not on the slopes, you look like a criminal. You're definitely up to something. If you're not up to something right now, you're probably casing the joint. You're plotting. You definitely are on your way to being up to something. Like you know what I'm saying?
That's real though, dude. Like if I'm a brick and mortar owner and you walk in, I'm like, yeah, you're definitely a criminal.
Like now, I have snapped on a store once. Like I walked in with a mask on because, you know, COVID didn't just disappear.
No, it didn't.
And what I've noticed,
the cases haven't either.
A matter of fact, cases like have started shooting back up, especially around the cold time. But anyway, my whole thing is like, it seems like people are. It's gonna sound bad, but I don't care. People are dirtier, okay? They since COVID, like everybody's not washing their hands and using hand sanitizer, and people are just coughing all out in the open or coughing into their hand and grabbing like all of these different things that are going on to spread germs. So I still wear a mask a lot of places. And I walked into a store once with my mask on, and it's crazy enough there was somebody in the store coughing, and I walked in. He's like, "No mask." I'm like, "Bro, I'm not taking off my damn mask. You know what's going on right now?" No. Coincidentally enough, they didn't even have what I wanted. I went in there, they didn't have it, so I just walked out anyway. But it was.
I just came back in with a helmet on.
That don't even.
You got to be specific.
You don't even serve no purpose. That just now you're just being a prick. But yeah, it's a mask is understandable. A ski mask, bro. What are your ears are sweating and what are you doing?
Bro.
What are you doing? This seems uncomfortable.
Yeah, it is. Like I don't even do it, and I know it is. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, but well, like I said, different times, man. Because hey, just don't wear the damn mask.
See him in a mask, like I know he got a record.
You trying to tell me you an A student? Like, straight up, you know what I'm saying? It's madness like that.
Previous convictions, I'm sure.
Man, straight A's in crime.
And he wouldn't be walking around with a mask on because that's a dead giveaway. Like,
yo, you said something earlier, bro, when you said that you know, the time that we come from, criminals didn't want to look like criminals, and it's so crazy that when you sit back and you think like the impact that music has on different generations. Almost everything that was a code is no longer the code, and the opposite is accepted. Even when, you know, when you have scenarios like a lot of the artists from our younger days talked about being the dealer. A lot of the artists today talk about being the user.
You know, we got time. What time?
Yeah, we got time.
Give you this theory.
Let me get my water.
So what happened was, remember how there used to be OGs? Mm-hmm. And they would give you game. Mm-hmm. They would give you advice. They would share knowledge.
Right.
These new generations don't have OGs.
Yeah.
And that's partially our fault, our generation.
Mm-hmm.
What happened was our generation had kids. A lot of them had kids early. A lot of us had to grow up early, right?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of responsibility. So we wasn't just out and about and around to see this new generation come up and be there to give them game, to transfer what was taught to us to them.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know what I'm saying? We weren't able to be the OGs due to our responsibilities.
Mm-hmm.
And so with us not being OGs, we didn't give any game. We didn't share any knowledge.
Right.
So then they had to come up on their own, however they seen fit, whatever they thought was right, regardless of whether it was the code, the rules,
Mm-hmm.
or not. They did what they wanted to do.
Yeah, it's true.
Then they got to a certain age to where what they were doing started to have an impact on us.
Yeah.
And our livelihood and how we operated, and us seeing that they messing up the game because they're not doing X, Y, and Z. But now it's working for them. So, but it's affecting us. So us trying to tell them what to do, they don't want to hear nothing we got to say because when they needed us, we weren't there.
Yeah, shut up, old head.
Yeah. What do you know? This is how it's rocking now. This is how it's going now. This is what's working for me. So now you got a lot of individuals out here messing up the game, doing what's working for them, not listening to the older generation because they think we don't know nothing because we didn't give them anything.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just been a perpetuating system over and over to where each generation is less gamed up, is less knowledgeable, right? Is less on point with an understanding of the codes and the guidelines of how things should go and operate for you to be able to remain consistent without getting caught up.
But don't you think that even though those younger generations, because everything you said is spot on, right? But don't you think there's a part of them that wanna know, like, hey, what's going on when so many things have happened in their generation that's been detrimental from like how young some of these artists have been taken away between violence and the use of, you know, certain.
Nah, they don't care.
So they're just completely desensitized.
Oh, 100%.
Okay.
And they really just don't care. And the thing about it is, it's gotten to a point to where it's happened so much and so often, so common now that they are desensitized.
So it's just like, yeah, that's just the way it go.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's just what
wild.
it is.
That's wild.
They're not asking any of the 5 W's or the H.
Well, I think the thing that's
No, who, where, when, why, what, how. Who cares? You got
who cares?
Who cares? You got any fentanyl?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna go somewhere else.
I think that the scary thing about it is when they start caring, they're gonna be too old to be able to make any decisions.
That's usually how it happens. Well, the whole thing is you don't start caring until something happens, and it really messes up your livelihood. Once you do something and it has a major impact and effect on your life, how you operate, the things that you do, the things that you're involved in, the things that you want to do, or how you can move forward, once that happens, then they'll care. But like you said, it'll be too late.
Yeah.
It'll be way too late. And that's the thing about it. Like, you know, in the time we came up, you wanted to have an understanding of things and learn about things and be familiar and know how to operate before it became too late. Because again, too late is after the fact, right?
Yeah.
So they'll care, but they'll care after the fact. And after the fact, there's already a blemish.
Yeah.
At least a blemish on your record or your life. Or you know what I'm saying? So it's unfortunate because the knowledge is out there.
It is.
But they don't care to.
Yeah. In their defense, I do think it might be even a little difficult for that generation, those generations to care because of how fast they have access to the resources. But what they don't understand about the resources is that they're not forever.
You want to know something? You said that and I thought about it. It's like they also really don't care because they feel like times have changed. A lot of things are different now. And because of that, the same rules that you abided by or that apply to you, they don't applied to me in this lifestyle or what it is that I'm doing. You remember how the OGs and parents always say there's nothing new under the sun? I know you heard the saying that there's no original ideas. So everything in some way, shape, form, or fashion is being recycled. And a lot of those codes, those rules, and those guidelines, just because you're not abiding by them, doesn't mean that they don't work. Doesn't mean that you can't apply them. You understand what I'm saying? But because you feel like old heads or back in the 1900s and all this other BS, you're not listening. You're not taking any guidance. You're not taking anything into account until after the fact, because this is a different time. This is a different age. Yeah, but I know if you start some, you got to be prepared to wipe your. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like,
you know, there might be a couple people that are young that might be listening and might be like, yo, what the hell are they talking about? I'll give a few examples because I think it's important, since, you know, our generation did drop the ball, right? So we have things like TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, basically all the social media platforms, X, whatever, right? Well, the version of that we had was the newspaper, magazines, the Inquirer, stuff you see by the candy section at the register, right? All those magazines. But then you had when certain music channels were music channels, you had like MTV News, VH1, and then you had the biographies and stuff like that of certain artists and things of that nature, right? That was the first world social media. Whatever they said, whatever was being put on TV is what it is, right? And so that's what the OGs meant by there's nothing new under the sun. It's just packaged differently. You know what I'm saying? And there's a couple preservatives in there, right? And so when younger people have a tendency to think, oh, that don't apply, that's just some old stuff. It's just like the music thing. Like, there were street teams and stuff like that. Now you have streaming and sharing. The only difference is just digital. You know what I mean? Your CD won't skip when you go over the train tracks. You dig what I'm saying? But then there's also things that they won't get to experience that we did too, because of innovation and things of that nature. And because of the way the world is now. You know, it was more common and easier to run into somebody that you admired that was famous. You know, they were more likely to be on the streets or at a party or at a get together. But because of things like, you know, the TMZ, the shade rooms, people always pulling their phone out for every little thing, you're less likely to see somebody unless you have access to a certain event or you're paying thousands or hundreds of dollars for concert tickets. So you're not going to get to, you know, and there's no like things like CD stores and malls are shutting down. So you're not going to run into your favorite athlete, your favorite artist at the mall or at an event because they're in town like we got an opportunity to, you know, and with our generation. They have to see everything from the sidelines on social media.
I randomly, back in the day, out in the Bay, I was at Pier, was it 39, 41? In San Francisco, I forgot what it, because I ain't been in for, I think it's Pier 39. Anyways, I ran into Clifton Powell.
That's crazy.
I was like, hey, you. He's like, yeah, what's up, man? I was like, man, you. For y'all that don't know, it's Pinky.
Yeah, for Friday.
I feel like that's one of his most
iconic. He's got hella roles, but
100%.
Yeah, but yeah, that's his most iconic to us. Yeah,
and so Pinky. I ran into him, and it was just like a wow, you know what I'm saying? Conversed for a minute. So when people out with got pictures, got some autographs, like it was just, but yeah, you don't, and he was just out enjoying
himself.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's just, you really don't get that anymore.
And then if you do try to approach them, they have to be on defense, which in their own right, I understand, because they don't know your intentions. There's so many things that they have to worry about that they probably didn't have to worry about like 20, 25 years ago. You know?
Even just 15.
Yeah, I'll even say that too. But those are things that I think generations now, I'm not going to say, yeah, they're getting cheated out of because of the...
Oh, man, they're getting cheated out of a lot.
A lot.
My God, just as far as experiences alone. Like, it's so crazy. A lot of life lessons we learned didn't come with harsh repercussions. They do now.
Yeah, they do. Like, kind of, life altering repercussions instead of like you just bump your head and okay not to do like there's
slap on the wrist.
Yeah, now it's like this is your life now.
You lose a whole hand now.
Yeah. For real.
Ain't no slap on the wrist.
Right. Real talk, man.
That's wild.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, man. But I don't know if that'll ever. I don't know what'll happen. I know history. History repeats itself. We've heard that before too. So who knows?
We'll see, man.
We will see, man. But we won't be able to see today. This is your boy, Dizzy D Spill. You've been tuning into the Notion podcast with my co-host in the building,
Jelani Evans.
We hope you enjoyed the episode. You know what I'm saying? Do as you please. Like, comment, subscribe. Let us know what you think. Share your experiences. Let us know what you agree with or disagree with. You know where to follow us. Threads, Instagram, all of the major platforms. The Notion is there. YouTube.
Facebook,
yeah, make sure you subscribe.
Apple,
everything.
Deezer.
Yep. Everything.
We kind of everywhere.
We kind of everywhere.
Except outside.
Yeah, we're not doing that. Got stuff to do. Anyways, until next time, peace.